Have you ever felt like you're trying, but something is missing? Like no matter how much you pray, no matter how much you try to be good, there's still an emptiness inside? You read the Bible, but the words don't sink in. You worship, but your heart feels distant. You want to walk with God, but something is pulling you back. Deep down, you know, this isn't the life God intended for you. You were created for more, created for victory, created to walk in power, joy, and peace. But let's be honest, many of us aren't living in that victory. We aren't living in the power of Christ. Instead, we are trapped, stuck, burdened by sin, chained by habits we cannot seem to break. And the worst part, we've started to accept it. We've started to believe that maybe this is just how life is. We say things like, nobody's perfect. We all have struggles. I'll always battle this sin. But is that what God says? Romans 7:21 says, I find then a law, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. There is a war inside you, a battle between the spirit and the flesh, a battle between the life God has called you to live, and the life that sin and temptation try to keep you trapped in. And if you don't yield to Christ, sin will keep winning. Too many Christians are living in defeat, and the sad truth, some don't even realize it. What's really holding you back? For some, it's spiritual sins, pride, jealousy, doubt. For others, it's sins of the flesh, wandering eyes, hidden addictions, improper relationships. And for many, it's sins of the mind, anxiety, fear, impure thoughts. You want to be free, but you keep falling. You tell yourself you'll do better next time, but next time never comes. And so, you learn to live with it. You stop resisting. You stop fighting. And that is exactly what the enemy wants. Because the moment you accept your sin as normal is the moment you stop growing. Sin is like a chain. The more you accept it, the tighter it wraps around you. Until one day, you wake up and realize you're completely bound. But here's the truth. That chain, it can be broken. Sin doesn't own you, the enemy doesn't control you, and failure is not your destiny. But you must decide, do you want to be free? You don't have to stay trapped. You don't have to stay weak. You don't have to live in constant failure and regret. Because the life God has for you is the life of Christ. The same Christ who overcame death has already given you the power to overcome sin. Colossians 3:4 says, Christ is our life. That means your life is not controlled by sin, not controlled by fear, not controlled by addiction, not controlled by failure. If Christ is unshakable, then so are you. If Christ is victorious, then so are you. The question is, will you believe it? Will you believe that God's power is greater than your weakness? Will you believe that your past mistakes don't define your future? Because the moment you believe, everything changes. No more pretending, no more justifying your sin, no more blaming others. Sin only thrives in the dark. It's time to bring it into the light. Take a moment right now. Ask yourself, what's holding me back? What sin have I ignored? What weakness have I excused? Identify it, name it, bring it before God. Surrender everything to God. Not just the easy things, not just the things you don't care about. Everything. Your struggles, your habits, your desires, your fears, your relationships, your future. Lay it all at His feet. Give Him control. Because as long as you hold on to even a little bit of control, sin will still have a foothold in your life. But when you truly surrender, that's when breakthrough happens. Are you ready to surrender? Victory is not a one-time event. It's a choice. A choice to wake up every day and say, I will walk in the Spirit. I will reject the lies of the enemy. Victory starts in your mind. It starts with how you see yourself. Are you just a weak, struggling Christian? Or are you a child of God filled with His power? Because once you start walking in victory, you'll never want to turn back. So, the question is, will you keep living in defeat? Will you keep believing the enemy's lies? Or will you step into the life God has already prepared for you? Will you keep settling for a life of struggle? Or will you allow Christ to be your life? The time is now. No more delays, no more excuses, no more living below what God has called you to be. Surrender, overcome, live. Live the life God has ordained. Start today.